I must say, Mr. Hernandez, it's been quite some time since you've called me back into your office. Tell me, do you miss my presence that much?
Well, perhaps. You're a very good listener and commentator whenever I receive new information from other agency members. This newest update came from Rick a little while ago. His new partner, Gamma, was able to download documents from Avalon's archives dating back centuries ago. Inside contains classified information that only a select few know about. These files chronicle the great events that took place between the Crusaders and the Draconian Empire. Rick guaranteed it to be a tale of epic proportions. Are you prepared, Miss Green?
Epic proportions? Yes. That does make me curious.
Very well. Prepare yourself for quite the roller coaster ride. The story goes as follows.
And so it came to pass that after the great priest and his band of heroes successfully defeated and sealed away Lilith, the priest returned back to his country where he was reigned immediately king, and they gave him a throne and set up his reign in the country. There, he met and reunited with his longtime lover, and after that, they soon wedded and became a royal family now, the first initiator of the royal family in the Nation of Light's kingdom. It was a harmonious occasion. Everyone saw it coming. It was like the great hero's welcome, and it was just such a beautiful marriage to see everything happen from this, like above which is like his two awesome sons, Apollo, and the other son's named Eos. They had a very close relationship as brothers as could be. Apollo was the forefront fighter and warrior in the army, and he was a rarely respected commander. Meanwhile, Eos was the quiet, reserved researcher who always was curious about the world at large and always spent his time traveling to discover new things about life. He was like what you would call the forever learning student. I mean, to him, you learn something new every day. And then, one day, when the king was minding his business, one of the soldiers came to him and informed him of a terrible creature on top of the castle. And to his surprise, he didn't know what it was. However, when he looked up, he saw something he could never believe. It was a terrible lizard. Something what they would call a fire-breathing dragon of some sort. This made no sense because after the Shadow Army was defeated on Lilith's end of the battle, most of the monsters that supposed to be slain and disappeared from the earth. Something was amiss, clearly. Alright, so let's backtrack. The aftermath of what happened in that place between the heroes and Lilith turned out to be there was remnants of supernatural energy across the land in that place in the battlefield. There it infected the water, the air, and a lot of the vegetation there, which means there were animals in that place that drank from the water that was infected or filled with the supernatural energy that was during the aftermath of the heroes and Lilith. it was some led to good, other things led to bad. But the animals need to drink just like everything else, and so you'd be surprised just how much of a Pandora's box event this led into. And it wasn't just one group of animals, it was just all animals in that area were infected by this strange phenomenon. Both the herbivores and the carnivores were drinking from the same watering pool that had the supernatural remnants contained in it, supernatural energy contained in it. It was like one of those instances where people would say to themselves they did not see this coming. And honestly, I mean, who could blame them? But if you thought that was worse, it wasn't just the nearby animals that were infected with this water. No, we wish it just infected the animals, but no, it didn't stop there. Even plant life was impacted by the supernatural elements in the water. Yep, not even the plants were exempt from this. So when plants were supposed to bear their typical fruits and stuff, they instead grew pods of pixies that were flying throughout the area. And to make things even crazier, the tree barks and the plants from the trees gave rise to nymphs and elves to have a strange fondness and connection to the forest as their protectors. It was something that not even the most well-rounded scholars could even anticipate in 1,000 years, but yet here it is before their very eyes, these strange entities emerging from the plants and the trees of that area. And one could wonder, just when we thought the fighting was over, it just led rise to other entities that are competing for survival with the same resources as other humans. This was quite the strange world where all sorts of things, all sorts of creatures were emerging out of the woodwork, literally. Trees, plants, and bushes were giving rise to all sorts of different types of animate life. And this was beyond anyone's comprehension. However, luckily for most of the plant life, most of the plants there, most of the orcs or the elves or the fairies over there were very benign creatures. The only thing they wanted to do was just upkeep and maintain the forest and protect it. Yes, there were some good creatures that came from this, but that wasn't the same for others. After all, this managed to turn bad carnivores to even worse carnivores, like especially wolves, which now give rise to werewolves or lycanthropes, or whatever you call these things, the beastmen and the demi-humans. Yes, the howlers, the creatures of the night, they were the ones responsible for increasing the disappearance of livestock and stuff, which greatly distressed many farmers throughout the land. It was like the fighting came back all over again. Not just werewolves, but also terrible dragons across the land as well. This was making another ongoing war with the humans, and something had to be put in place to put a stop to this. This was crazy.
Whoa, Miss Green, that was beyond insane. Who would have imagined that the emergence of all those different types of creatures came from the aftermath between the heroes and Lilith's battle? I never would have guessed it was supernatural energy that infected the environment. The air, water and vegetation were primary victims.
It's just like dealing with the Hydra from Greek mythology. You cut off one head only for multiple heads to grow and take its place. Everything seemed to be going so well for the heroes once they defeated Lilith. Now, they have completely new threats to deal with in the most unusual way possible.
Believe me, this was only just the first of many instances.
I'm sorry, the first?
Yes, it shows us exactly what these tit-for-tat battles led to. Observe.
My apologies, Your Highness. But, I'm afraid our forces can't keep this up much longer. The beastmen and elven archers are relentless with their poison arrows. We'll have to make a tactical retreat.
Those filthy, vile creatures. They dare make a mockery of our nation's defense. If I had my way, I'd exterminate every last one of them.
Sire, is everything okay?
It's nothing, soldier. I was just having a maltangent, is all. All our forces to retreat. I prefer to have our men live to fight another day at least.
Once the soldiers retreated, this happened.
Father, this madness has got to stop. These creatures are wreaking havoc on our soul. They have strange otherworldly powers and abilities that jeopardize our way of life. They must be vanquished.
Apollo, what's gotten into you? That is not what this nation stands for. The nation of light is a nation of non-violence. If you want to end conflict, peace is the solution, not war.
Father, did you just say peace? You wouldn't make peace with those filthy walking abominations? That's absurd. Creatures like that are meant to be slain. This is a human world, and I intend to keep it that way since you defeated Lilith.
Enough, son. If we're going to end this ongoing conflict, we'll do it in a peace-loving manner, and that's final. Your ways will only breed more hostility and xenophobia. That's not the attribute this country needs at this time.
Very well, if you insist.
Apollo begrudgingly accepts the priest's method of ending the war. However, this was by no means the end of this discussion.
And so, the priest king concocted a way to find the most peaceful way to put an end to this ongoing conflict between the humans and the non-human tribes that are sparkled or salt and peppered throughout the lands of Zestria. Multiple non-humans gathered for some reason at the request of the Elf Queen herself. If this had to happen, best believe it was something of utmost importance to stand before Her Majesty.
All right, everything seems in place for the meeting to start. Now, we just wait patiently for the attendees to arrive. It appears they're arriving sooner than expected. Great seeing you again, Marco. I must say you seem to be holding up quite well for yourself, despite all that's happening.
If you say so. My tribe keeps getting attacked by these fear-mongering humans. If this keeps up, our tribe will be on the brink of starvation before winter arrives.
I completely understand, my friend. These humans are getting out of hand with their fear of the unknown. We, the Elven tribe, along with other fair folk, only exist to protect the forests from being destroyed. Our goal is to simply restore the destruction humans bring to our land.
Such hypocrites, they are. They call us savages and monsters, yet are the ones who destroy everything they touch. I say we go full force against them, before they cause any more harm.
Those were my exact thoughts as well. However, that all changed once I received an interesting message from a little birdie a while ago. It was a written letter from the Nation of Light's king asking for a peace treaty.
Wait, peace treaty? Why a peace treaty all of a sudden?
I don't exactly know all the specifics. If the king of that united region is issuing a peaceful resolve to this conflict, we should definitely heed the call. The only issue is finding a suitable delegate to go before the king to solidify the peace treaty.
That's simple. I'll go. What better way to settle a peace treaty between a king than with another king?
Your Highness, you actually arrived here personally? We'd all assumed that you'd be sending a representative in your place.
No, not this time. This meeting is our top priority, to actually make change in this world. Just like how the humans have their crusaders to protect them, you have we, the Draconian tribe, to protect you all. Isn't that right, Marco?
Yes, sir. Your tribe saved our hides during that last raid. We're absolutely loyal to you all.
Splendid. I'll address every issue regarding our relationships with the humans who frequent this area. I sense massive change coming from this.
At that moment, the Draconian king prepared himself to meet with the priest king to finally settle the ongoing conflict.